Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy, Boulanger, and up next we're gonna get into trade number three, Lamar Jackson to who? And I won't reveal this team until we get actually into the screen share, but I'll give you a couple of clues. It is an AFC team. This team has not been in contention for some time. This team has been full of controversy from ownership down to its players. Uh, this team has had a lot of star power, over its history. But I don't think this team has ever won a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this team has never won a Super Bowl. So, that could narrow it down to a few, right? This trade I'm gonna project is gonna be one of the most fire trades you're gonna see, whether at the GM, across YouTube, or even in national sports media. The reason why it's because the compensation Baltimore will receive is amazing. And then also, um, we'll be the first to say it, right? It's always good when you're the first to say something. I think this trade will allow Baltimore to do a lot of things and do a lot of good things quickly, and bounce back from losing Lamar Jackson. So with no further ado, man, let me share my screen with you guys and we'll get this thing going. All right, let me hit that. Get this popped up for you guys. Excuse the pop-ups at the bottom. Bam. Lamar Jackson to who? No other than the Houston Texans. Now, I know you guys might be saying, what, Leon? You said you like Lamar. You said he's your favorite player. Why would you disrespect him and send him to a struggling, middling um, Houston Texans team? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Just let me make my case. Don't go crazy on me. Just let me make my case first. First off, let's look at the Houston Texans cap space versus the Ravens cap space. Of course, we've seen the Ravens cap space for several videos. 24 million in 2023, 86 million in 2024, and then 200, excuse me, and then 145 million, which could turn to 165 if they get rid of Ronnie Stanley in 2025. But when we look back up at the Houston Texans cap space, they have 37 million in cap space right now in 2023. It goes up to 187 million in cap space in 2024 and over $250 million in cap space in 2025. Now, we understand that that is a representation of uh, no draft picks, being accounted for in 23, 24, 25 at this point. That could be anywhere from 14 to 20 players. Uh, and then that's not re-signing your own free agents, and then that's also not signing free agents coming in. But we can see Lamar Jackson will fit well up under their cap space in any year. Okay. So cap space will be no problem for this trade. Okay, let's look at the Houston Texans draft capital. Well, the Houston Texans right off have two first round picks. They have a second round pick. They have two third round picks. They have a fourth round pick, a fifth round pick, three sixth round picks, excuse me. And uh the most remarkable thing that makes this an excellent trade is because the Houston Texans have the number 2 overall pick and they have the number 13th overall pick. No, number 12th in the first round. And so, wait a minute, I think I had that on there twice, but they have the number 2 overall pick, and they have the 12th overall pick. And so they have a ton of draft capital, which makes this trade a lot easier to get done for sure. They have cap space and draft capital. So let's go. Let's see what the trade looks like. Bam. So the trade is the Houston Texans receive Lamar Jackson. Okay. And the Baltimore Ravens receive 2 first round picks, 2023, which means the Baltimore would get Houston's first round picks this year, both of them. Okay. They would receive 1 third round pick in 2023, and then they would receive 2 sixth round picks. Okay. And so what that does, it gets Baltimore 2 top 15 picks, which gets them a quarterback with a number 2 pick, and then also gets them whatever they need, a top corner, edge rusher, whatever it is. So And but we know Baltimore might foul this up and they might go with an edge rusher at the number 2 pick because they are so defensive driven and go quarterback with the other pick. But that's not here nor there for this trade. So I think the trade is a great deal for the Baltimore Ravens. And I think Houston Texans get on the map. I think the Houston Texans literally go from picking number 2 overall to having the potential to take over the AFC South. Well, why? Well, number one, the and this is why I would trade Lamar to Houston. Hold on, let's do the why. Um, let's do why do this deal. The Houston Texans need a franchise quarterback. They got rid of Deshaun Watson, got all of uh, um, Cleveland's first round picks for a couple of years, and so they have great draft capital, and they also have a ton of cap space, and Lamar would be an amazing talent um, in Houston. Okay, and then the Baltimore Ravens would get 2 first rounds, and in this year, they would get 2 top 15 picks. And that's why I didn't do 3 or 4 first rounders because you get 2 top 15 picks in this draft, and so the benefit is that Houston could pay off Baltimore this year. They don't have to drag it out multiple years, a 2024 first round, 2025 first round. No, they can get both the picks right now. Baltimore have 3 first rounds, first round picks. They'll be able to do whatever they needed to do in the first round, and and be able to reset and refresh and rebuild and be on their way. And then the benefit for Houston is Houston already has a left tackle in place. Houston has an offensive line that's getting better. Houston has a young running back who looks like a young stud. Balled out this year until I think he got an injury. They have a veteran wide receiver in Brandon Cooks who is still getting it done at age 29, and they still would have some draft capital in order to be able to put some young pieces around Lamar this year, but then simply because they don't have to pay a Baltimore draft picks next year, they're right back into drafted in the first round still with some of Cleveland's picks as well. So they will be able to restock and refresh and rebuild themselves and have a franchise quarterback in place. And I think that allows them to jump to the top of the AFC South, especially if they go ahead and add a couple of veteran wide receivers in free agency. So that's the reason why I was saying Lamar there. One, they have the cap space. So that way they'll be able to pay Lamar his money, but they still have the capital to go get other pieces and put around Lamar. They already have a franchise left tackle in place. Uh, they've been building up their offense and defensive lines so that the defense looked a little better last year, and going into another year with a better offense, that defense will look even better. So that's why I would make the trade. Baltimore gets great compensation. Houston gets a great quarterback. Both teams can be happy, and then Houston doesn't have to drag this trade out, paying Baltimore picks for years to come. I told you this is one of the fire picks. Nobody is talking about this team. Nobody has really mentioned Houston Texans, but remember, you heard it here first. Listen, this is the GM, man, and we try to put our GM hats on and talk and speak, uh, stuff that's not always in the national media. And so that's why we have takes that other people don't have. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys for checking us out, man. Let me know what you want me to know. Houston Texans fans, if you're in the video, um, if you're in the room watching the video, man, let us know, man, what you think about the trade. Do you think it's too much to get Lamar Jackson out there in Texans land, or do you think the price is just right? Ravens fans, let me know what you think about the compensation coming back to Baltimore for Lamar. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is GM, and I'm out.